in the piss pouring down rain in the gray ass rainy Northwest in Oregon. They played at a place called the Crystal Ballroom, and we were down there, and I sat down there in the rain with an umbrella waiting for their tour bus to show up. And I was going to just give Pharrell my mixtape that I had. I wanted him to hear it and give me some advice and pointers, and just, I don't know, like, I was young and I felt like I could just go down there and talk to him, you know? I just thought I could do it. I mean, that's stupid of me to think, but I mean, sometimes you get a connection with someone, and you feel like, you know, they're just a normal person, and a lot of people are, but there comes a point when they're like, you know, they're untouchable. You just can't conversate with them. You can't talk to them. So anyway, so I sat down there in the rain. I waited for their tour bus to show up. Their tour bus showed up, but who got out was Black Eyed Peas, and I had no idea who I was looking at. All right, so, and I listened to Black Eyed Peas like in the '90s, but I didn't really know them by face. So they get out, they're hauling their gear, keyboards and drums, and it's fucking Black Eyed Peas, right? And I'm just like chilling. I'm like, where's Pharrell? You know, I'm like, where's this dude? And he didn't show up. He probably rolled in like right before his set. You know what I mean? So he rolled in. People started to get, you know, crowded, and people started to come out to the show, and I was first in line, of course. I was first one in the club, and we got right up to the front, and my younger brother Kyle joined us, and my cousin Derek joined me, and they all knew I was there all day trying to hand him my mixtape and talk to him, and it didn't happen. And so he said, okay, so if you are at the show, you can buy his album, their second album, that had She Likes to Move. That was the hit single off that, and a bunch of other songs. If you buy their album, he'll sign it. You take it to him after the show, and he'll sign it in person. So I was like, well, that's my chance to meet him. So I rebought his album there at the club for like $20. Bought the album, and I said, let's go. At the end of the show, I'm going to have him sign this, and then I'm going to give him my mixtape and talk to him real briefly. So that was my plan. So I did that. After the show was done, I was last in line, man. Everyone was in front. Everyone's doing this. I was waiting. Kyle and Derek, they're all off to the side. They're watching me, waiting. I got up to Pharrell. I was the last person in line. His bodyguards picked him up and was like, come on, we got to go. You got another show. We got to get you in the bus. I'm like, hold on, wait. There's just me. There's me here. I want him to sign this. And so he grabbed my CD. The bodyguard grabbed my CD and threw it on the table, and he's like, Pharrell, sign this. So Pharrell went to sign it, and I'm like, I just froze up. Like, I just completely froze up, you know, when you get in those moments. And I froze up, and I'm just like, Pharrell, and I said, I'm face-to-face with this guy, and I said, you really inspire me. I said, we have a lot in common through music, I feel, and you inspire me greatly. And I said, I have some music. It's on a CD. I want you to have it and listen to it. And my email's on there, and maybe someday just write me if you ever are free. That's what I said, and it came out right. That's exactly what I wanted to say after I froze up. I felt really good. And he looks at me, and he looks at the tape, and he goes, I can't accept that. I go, what do you mean you can't accept it? I said, just take it. I said, I made it for you. It's for you. And he goes, I can't accept anything. I can't take it. He goes, due to my label. I said, you really can't take this. And he's like, yeah, I can't take it. I'm sorry. His bodyguard grabbed him, and they pulled him away from me. And he walked off. And that was it. And I had his signed album in my mixtape. And I had waited since 8 a.m. And I told him that, too. I was like, I waited all morning for you. I just want you to just take it. That's all. And he couldn't. He denied me. And it wasn't possible. For whatever reason, he said his label. But, whatever. And so I was devastated. I was really devastated. For so many years, following this guy, and I thought, man, I could just, you know, like, connect with him through music that I really believed in. I believed in his music. And again, I was young. I thought there's common ground, but he doesn't know me. You know, I'm just some random dude, you know? Like, what do I expect? Why does he have to even talk to me, you know? But in my mind, I thought he would, you know? So I left, man. I was devastated. Devastated. I went home. I sat in my studio. I sat in there all night. I shut the door and I locked it. I just sat in there and I thought, man, what's going on, you know? And I looked up at the poster. I grabbed a poster off the wall, and I was looking at it, and I was like, okay, well, that's not the end of the world, you know? Like, he's doing his thing. Like, he worked hard to get to where he wants to be. He's playing gigs. He's having a good show. He's having a good time. Like, I don't need him. I can do it myself. You know? So, after a while, after being, like, devastated and butthurt about it, I use it as inspiration. And it's a story that I've never told anyone. I think only 2 people know of it, and it's my younger brother Kyle and it's Derek, my cousin, because they both were there. I never told anyone about it. I didn't even tell my parents, like, or anyone my plan. I just was like, I'm going down there myself. This was for me to do. No one knew I was going to do it. And it was one of those things, man. It was really, really, I don't know. Here I am still talking about it. Like, I remember it like it was yesterday. So, I guess my point is that, you know, be inspired, you know, be excited about what you're doing, and you know, just I don't know. I don't really know what I'm trying to say. It was just one of those moments where, you know, use the negativity for inspiration is I guess what I'm really trying to say. Turn it around, use it for inspiration, use it to fuel your fire and empower yourself to move forward and do things and achieve goals and have fun doing it. You know what I mean? Like, people will come along if they like it, and they'll take part in your stuff if they like it. And if they don't, then they won't. It's really that simple. So, yeah, that's about it. Story time. Just an old story from back in the early 2000s. And I went on to release my first album, and I thought it was pretty good, you know. Recorded on actually that recorder on my Rhythm Roulette, my little 8-track CD rewrite based recorder. I said, fuck it, I'm using this little machine, I'm going to make an album on it, and I did. That's pretty good for 21, you know. Okay, let's continue on.